So alongside the new Lemates, Astaroth and the new Sanguinary Priest and Captain we got shown off the other day, we have now seen yet more of the upcoming Blood Angels range refresh, and it looks like a lot of their characters are going to be getting the updated model treatment, with a whole new set of gold dropping into our hands very soon. Not only are the venerable Sanguinary Guard getting an update after their decimation at Ball with a whole new set of models, but also the mysterious Sanguinor himself is making a return. Now on the model front, the Sanguinor has kept a very similar style of design really. He is still holding his chalice and sword in almost the same pose, and he is still dropping in from the sky or flying up into the sky, depending on how you look at it, held up by those really ornate, beautiful decorative scrolls. His wings have changed a bit. They are a bit less fluffy and feathery and are now more, I don't really know how to describe it, but they're more stone-like, if that makes sense. And I do like the design of that style of wings personally, but I do know a lot of people like the sort of angelic, feathery, fluffy style a bit more, so that may not be quite to your fancy, but I actually really like this new style. I think it looks a lot cooler. And I mean, all in all, it's just a really nice model. It's a very straightforward, faithful recreation of his current model, which just works. The detailing is gorgeous, and it is, at the end of the day, just bigger and better, which for most things, when we see a redone or updated character, that is exactly what we want. I mean, it is always nice when you get the new poses and designs, but quite often you just want a character that looks similar, so you get that nostalgia hit, but he is just better and more detailed and looks like he has been brought into the current era of 40k. So for me, the Sanguinor, he is a win, and he is hopefully still going to be a solid, scary, melee-focused hero. Currently, he can get to 9 strength 8 attacks on the charge with devastating wounds and the ability to essentially set him up in combat with the enemy in their own charge phase, which will let him just dive in and obliterate a small 5-man squad of Marines in a single go in their own turn, which is hilariously powerful. So I'm hoping he is still good, still a bit of a melee beatstick, and still just a really fun, exciting looking character to bring to the board. There was a rumor going around that he might become the new Demon Prince or Primarch size model for the Blood Angels, because obviously Sanguinius ain't coming back. That doesn't look to be the case. It does look like he is going to be on a 50mm or maybe a 60mm base, but certainly not a huge one. So I don't think he's going to be Primarch sized. So that rumor does seem to have been quashed, but I still think he is going to be one of the better beat sticks for the Blood Angels. Where things are less good is with the Sanguinary Guard. They too have had an update, and I mean, there are some positives. I do like the overall armor design. I think it looks pretty cool. I do love the fact that they now have spears and they still have their wrist-mounted Angelus bolt guns. I personally really like the new jump pack design too, so that isn't awful for me. And I also like the fact that they've got some customization options in their helmets and also still got the option for that cool looking banner. But aside from that, these models are quite a big downgrade, in my opinion. I really dislike the fact that they have lost their proper angelic wings and instead just have the bog standard Primaris jump pack. As much as I've said I do like the Primaris jump pack, these guys should have a little bit more. Losing those wings does just take away a bit of their theme and their feel and their identity. Now, they do technically still have some wings on the model. They are just in the form of the jump pack fins. But they honestly almost make the model look worse for me because they are so small and awkward and just look out of place. I just really wish they had put proper wings in next to the jump pack, or at least made the fins look a bit more natural and just a bit better. I also really don't like the fact that their old unique ornate shoulder pads appear to be gone. The old winged designs are now just being replaced with what looks to be the bog standard Blood Angel's winged pad with a blood drop on. It just, again, feels less ornate and less blingy, which for a unit like Sanguinary Guard, which are meant to be the best of the chapter, feels like a massively wasted opportunity. Equally, the death masks, they also feel like they've lost some character. The spiked sun motif around the heads that they used to have now been replaced with what is essentially just a glorified Stormcast Eternals head. So it just doesn't look as unique or intricate to me. And then also the neck gorget they had for protection has also gone, which again, it removes some of their knightly theme and their melee focused identity, which may not seem like much, but when it's a big, blingy, important unit like the Sanguinary Guard, you feel like they should have all those extra bits and little details that just set them apart from other units. As I said, I do like the spears, but it is still a shame the axes are gone, even if in 10th edition they were the same profile of the Incarmine blade. But the biggest hit for me, I think, is that they are now confirmed to be just a 3-man unit. So like the Dark Angel Companions, they come in a unit of either 3 or 6 now, rather than 5 or 10. Now, this does seem to be a trend amongst a lot of Marine units and the new Primaris range, so I don't expect that to change back, but it does still irk me sometimes because 5 or 10 just feels better for me. I like working in multiples of 5 or 10, so it just doesn't feel like a full unit when there is just 3 or 6 of them. And I mean, even if they bump them up to 3 wounds, which I imagine they will based on the Inner Circle companions for the Dark Angels, but it still just doesn't feel like a full squad to me. In terms of how I think their rules will fall, I imagine they will still have a similar style of being pretty good in melee, have a decent 12-inch move like they do now. They will probably keep their 2-up save and have a way to protect the character that they're with thanks to their rules like Heirs of Exelion, which I think they will keep, and maybe even Angelic Visage, to make them super tanky with a -1 to hit and -1 to wound if they are with a character, which would admittedly be quite nice. It would make for a good tanky unit. And then in melee, I expect the spear will give them a bonus when they charge, whilst the swords will probably still be a strength 5 or strength 6, -2 AP, 2 damage profile, and then maybe some kind of ability like lethal hits. I imagine they will be very similar to the Calibanite Greatsword's strike profile, if I'm being honest. All in all, I am a big fan of a lot of what we've seen for the Blood Angels, from Astaroth to the Sanguinary Priest to the Sanguinor. I think all of their updated characters do look good, but the Sanguinary Guard, they are the first real miss for me, and I think it's made even worse because we have just had the Stormcast Prosecutors for 4th edition, which are, in my opinion, such a great base to build a unit like Sanguinary Guard off. Maybe not quite the same, I think they would be smaller, less overly large wings for certain, but just something to give them a bit more of an angelic vibe alongside their jump packs that they could have brought over from the Prosecutors would have worked really well and would have just given the Sanguinary Guard that identity that was a step above just a fancy jump assault intercessor. I do think they might be decent, points dependent of course. They will likely be a good pick if you want a character like Dante or a captain with a jump pack to be protected by them as they jump around the board hunting down enemies, but I am just really not a big fan of the models, and I do have to be honest, I think they are overall a downgrade compared to the current models. But that's going to be it for this video. I do like the Sanguinor, as I said, but I would love to know what you think of the models we have seen today. Let me know your thoughts and ideas on their rules down in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me. But until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.